Hello, welcome to this video on UI buttons, user interface buttons. So in this video, we're going to look at how to make some buttons in a canvas and how to add functionality to the buttons. So let's get started. We're going to start by going to our main menu. So it's in the scenes folder, go to main menu, and let's add some buttons here. So I'm sure if you want to pause the video, you can figure out how to add some buttons to the canvas. So feel free to go and try that. And now that you've tried adding some buttons to the canvas, let's right-click on the canvas, and you go to UI, and you'll see there is a button dash text mesh pro. So that's good. That's what we want. It's going to have a text mesh pro, so text in there, and it's a button. And so we can go and call this maybe the start game button. Okay, and we'll leave maybe just a start button. Okay, and we'll leave that there for now. I'll get you to add some more buttons in a bit, but there's a button, and we'll put some different text on the button. So if you open up this little drop down on the button, you have this text child, right? And that's a good example of separating the logic from the visuals here. So there's the text being separated from the actual functionality of the button. So here's the text, and let's put start game. Okay, that's the text on the button. And now, if you go back to the parent of the button, there's this on-click method. If you click a plus, right, we actually can add these listeners, these methods that are going to run when we click the button. So if we just go to play in the main menu, then you can see if we press the start game button, right, there's actually this kind of graying out that happens as I click, which is good. It means, you know, it's being recognized as a button. And now we can say, well, what code do we want to run when that happens? And so in this main menu scene, we don't have any scripts yet, right? We don't actually have any code that's going to run when you press the start button or when anything happens. And so let's just make an empty game object, and I'm going to call it main menu controller, right? And I'll reset that transform just so it's at 0, but it doesn't really matter where it is. And I'll add a script to it. So in my scripts folder, I might just make a new folder called playing scripts. And there's not always a distinction between a playing script and a menu script, but here all of these things are going to be for the playing scene. Okay, and I'll make a new folder for the main menu scripts. And in that folder, let's go and make a script called main menu controller. Okay, in that main menu controller script, well, first of all, we'll attach it to the main menu controller game object, and we'll open up the script. And here we're going to put some functions that are going to run when we click some buttons. So to make a function run when you press a button, it needs to be public, and the return type is going to be void, and I'm going to say on start button click, like that. So just a public function, and for now I'm just going to put debug.log start button clicked. Okay, just to make sure that this is happening. So there's an on start button click method. Okay, now go to the start button, and down here in this on click, right, it might be empty. You can press plus to add one. This can be runtime only, that's fine. But then here there's a little field to drop an object, and that object is going to be an object that has a script on it that has some methods in it. And so go to your start button, and let's drag the main menu controller, which has a script on it, right in there. And now it gives us a choice on the right-hand side here to choose a function. So there's game object and transform, which are, those are like everything that you drop in here is going to be a game object. So that has this game object, these game object fields and methods. And then transform is there by default as well. But main menu controller is one that we've added. And here there's a bunch of default stuff. And you'll also find our on start button click. So that method is there. That's the one that we just defined. So now we've selected that for when you click this button, main menu controller, game.onStartButtonClick is going to get called. And you can add more as well. You can add multiple listeners to this button. But for now, we just have one. So let's save this, make sure everything's saved. We'll try running it. Okay, and let's try pressing this. Let's look at the console, try pressing the Start Game button, and we see Start button clicked. So that is successfully working. Okay, that's great. Your challenge for this video is to make a Start Game and Quit button in the main menu scene. Okay, for the Start Game button, it should load the playing scene. And we've already set up that when the playing scene loads, it should have the countdown and whatnot. So that should work nicely. And then also make the Quit button, call this function called application.quit. And application.quit is not going to do anything in the editor. It's only going to do something in the build. So also call debug.log in the quit method just to make sure that it is working. Okay, and finally, I want you to go into the build settings and modify the build order so that when the game starts, it starts in the main menu scene. Okay, I'll let you pause the video and try that. Okay, good job trying the challenge. Let's go and make the Start button actually load the main menu scene. So here, instead of saying Start button clicked, we're going to go Scene Manager. Again, just press Tab. It'll put that using statement up there at the top. Scene Manager dot load scene. And here, we know that we're going to be making the main menu the first scene. So we're actually going to put 1 as the scene to load. And that's going to be the playing scene index. Let's go make a private const int, make this all caps, playing scene index, and that's going to be 1. And we'll copy playing scene index and put it there. Okay, so that's going to be loading the playing scene. And if you remember, right, in our game manager, which has been moved, so these scripts can't be found anymore, so I'll have to reopen those. So let's go and open the game manager script again. So here's game manager. There we go, it's open. I might as well close most of these, but anyways, I'll close these later. But here's the game manager script. Now the main menu scene index is going to be 0. So very easily just change that one value. Okay, game manager scene index is 0. And come back to the main menu controller, playing scene index is 1. So let's just make sure that this actually loads that scene. Okay, the moment of truth, press the Start Game button. And it doesn't look like it's working because we forgot to change the order in the build settings. So let's go to the build settings, and we'll just make sure that the main menu scene is first. So that's index 0, and the playing scene is 1. Okay, try again. Okay, press Start Game, and we load into the game. Music starts, and we start running. That's very nice. Okay. Now let's add another button. So I'm actually going to just take this Start. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call this Quit button. And actually, I like the idea of putting button back in this name. So let's put button back. It's okay to go back and forth on things like this. Here's the Quit button. Let's move it down. Okay, open up the text of the Quit button, and let's say quit. And we need to change the actual method that's listening. So instead of main menu controller.onStart, let's go have another function called public void onQuit button click. And there's this function called application.quit. Now, application.quit only is going to work in an actual build. So let's just make sure that we're going to actually see this button is being pressed by saying quit button was pressed. Just like that. And don't forget to change your quit button function so we actually call on quit button click. Okay. So quit says quit button was pressed, and in a build that would be quitting the game, and start button starts the game. So that looks really good. Okay, well done getting this far. We will see you in the next video.